guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're returning, thank you for always supporting me. So today, I feel like with lockdown, there's just not as much as I thought I'd be able to film, and especially the last week, Marley has been isolating at home. He was negative, but there was a positive case in his class, so it's just been really hard to like film something, like because I am homeschooling and trying to keep a house clean. See, when a toddler is at school, the house is tidy 99% of the time. When they're home, obviously all you do is make mess because that's how we entertain. So today I thought would be fun would be to do a agony on. So this, I can't take credit for this. This was actually Jordan's idea of like, why don't you just ask people what their scenarios are at the minute and then get your opinion on it, and it might be able to help them. And I was like, to Jordan, because yeah, that was a great idea. So that's what I did. I went over to you guys over at Instagram, asked you. This is all anonymous as well because obviously it's private for people, but it might help not that person, but other people that are in that situation. So let's see what you guys sent. I only posted this an hour ago on my Instagram story, and I have got thousands. Like, I won't even be able to get through a quarter of them. There's just so many. So I'll do my best, but I feel like this potentially will be a segment, so I'll try and do this every week, just because at least there's always something to film. You guys can hear about people's scenarios, which I, if you're like me, love to hear. Like, we're just nosy. I think that's a human being thing. We kind of are intrigued by other people's lives. So let's crack on with it. So I've just gone right to the bottom, and the first one I had was, would you be fuming if your boyfriend stayed out until 10 AM? He thinks I'm overreacting. So, hon, you are not overreacting. So for me, I'm like, when Jordan goes out, I do not text him, I don't annoy him. Like, I kind of just want him to have a good night. Vice versa, he does the same for me. And as long as when I wake up in the morning, he's in bed, it's quite chilled. If I was to wake up and he wasn't in bed, he hadn't texted me, and I had no idea where he was, and then to find out he was just like chilling at a mate's, or I don't know what he got up to, I'd be fuming, because it's like a trust thing, I think. Like, there's trust in someone, and then there's them giving you the respect back. That's just my personal opinion. Like, I've gone out before, got absolutely so drunk, ridiculous, and my friend has then rang Jordan or texted him and been like, hey, Chloe's just going to come back to mine, she's absolutely mortal. I'm just going to put her in bed, and then at least she doesn't wake Marley up. Things like that I think are acceptable. So if your boyfriend thinks you're overreacting, had texted you at 3 o'clock in the morning saying, I'm going back to Chad's, Dylan's, they were just the first names that came in my head, like, I've got no money left for a taxi, all these, you kind of have to, if you have trust in that relationship, then that's fine. But I think coming in at 10 AM, not having a clue where you've been, and you having to wake up on your own, panicking, I don't think that's very fair. So I don't think that's overreacting, personally. I think it's a respect thing, like, communicate. Like, that's all we ask, / they ask. So, next. Should I continue to take my contraception even though it messes with my head / hormones? So I have a few friends that feel like this on contraception. So I would definitely say do not come off straight away, because we all know what happens if you have sex without contraception. You will get pregnant. Like, it is basically to stop that. So I wouldn't do that. I would go see your doctor, tell them how you're feeling, and see what other options there is, because there's so many options. Like, I'm on the copper coil, and it has no hormones in it at all. So it shouldn't affect me at all in any way. My periods can be a bit funny sometimes, but that is kind of all. And that's what I wanted, because I've heard some contraceptions can like make your skin really bad, or you put on weight, or you feel angry and frustrated, all that, whereas I don't have that. So I would definitely not come off it dramatically. Go see your doctor, see what they recommend, but I highly recommend the copper coil, like, personally. So I'm not a doctor, obviously, but for me having it, I'm actually having it taken out in April and having a new one put in, because it's been 5 years, and it has done me a world of good. I've had no issues and not had any pregnancy scares. I had one at Christmas, actually. On Christmas Day I did a pregnancy test, but it was negative. I don't know, I just had a weird feeling, but it was all good. But I think if it was positive, I wouldn't have been sad. Like, yeah, not that me and Jordan are trying, but you know, like now we're 23, it doesn't seem as scary anymore. We've done it once, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm blabbering on. My brother is just negative all the time. It makes me not want to visit him and my parents. So this is something that I think you need to be the number one sister. Just sit down with them and just communicate. Me and my brother used to not get on, and now we get on like we get on so well. We trust each other. I'd tell him anything. Like, we're really good friends. We go to the pub for a pint. I just think I used to just tell him when, like, you're out of line or, like, what's wrong with you, just tell me. And I think you don't know how he's really feeling, like, up here and inside. So maybe just communicate with him. Tell him how you feel, and he might end up opening up, and it might make your relationship a lot better and you won't have that feeling. But that was what I would recommend. Just ask, like, you need to, this is my thing I've learned, ask are you okay? Are you sure you're okay? Ask twice, because normally the second time they tell the truth. Not they, but in general, I think it comes out of you easier when someone asks the second time. It's kind of like, oh, they do care. So many people around me are having babies, would love another, it's just not the right time. I think COVID has created a lot of babies. I currently have, oh my goodness, four friends having babies. One time in twins, which is so exciting. Like, I'm excited for all of them. But yeah, like, have you not seen them tops where it says, my mum and dad didn't social distance or something? Because there's loads of babies been made in 2020, I've noticed. Even the start of this year, lots of babies have been created. In general, lots of babies are created, but I think because there's nothing else to do, lots more people have been having sex, obviously, and creating children. So yeah, I think that's maybe around for a lot of people. I feel like that. I get really broody recently, like, oh my god, I'd love Marley to have a sibling. Everyone's having babies. Like last year, my sister had a baby and my sister-in-law had a baby, so there was 2 COVID babies born. Marley's friends, their parents, there's a couple of COVID babies, siblings for them. And I think, oh, I love them, and I see them and I get to be like, oh, and then I just think I don't think there's a right time. So if I feel pregnant now, it's not that it's the right or wrong time. It's happened, we'd make the most of it. But I don't feel like I'm ready. I'd make myself ready if something was to happen and I felt pregnant, but I don't feel like I'm ready at the minute either. It just doesn't feel like the right time. So don't feel bad on yourself. If it happened, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I don't believe there is a wrong or right time. Obviously, if you can plan it, that's great, isn't it? Like, I'd like to plan my next one because Marley wasn't exciting, whereas I'm hoping we're older and more mature and wiser that it would be more exciting the second time. But I wouldn't worry. Like, you'd love another one, so you will end up having another one, hopefully. I always think the same. What to do when my friend drops me for her boyfriend? Oh, this is such a tricky one because I've had this happen to me loads, but I've learned to accept it, that they're happy and I need to be happy for them. I'm one of them people, I'm lucky enough to have lots of friends, so it's not like I rely on one friend. So if it was one friend and then they had a boyfriend, I'd be lonely, or I wouldn't feel like I had anyone to go out with. I've got realistically 3 good groups of friends, luckily, who I love all the same. And some of them in the groups, like, they have boyfriends and then, not that they ditch you, I think they just fall in love. Like, that's why I always think, like, do you know when you meet someone and you just like besotted by them and all you want to do is spend their time with them? I've got that thing in my head where I've learned to just be happy for them now. I used to be like, I'm like sad about it, but now I'm a bit like, if they're happy, I'm happy. It's not the end of the world kind of thing. But I think if it is really upsetting you, just open up to your friend, be honest. Because I've done it with my friends, I've told them how I feel before. And if they're a good enough friend, they'll realise, they'll care about you enough to do something about it. That's what I think. Like, if my mate came to me and was like, I just feel like you're with Jordan all the time. Obviously, we have a child together, so it's a little bit different. But if my friend did come to me and say, you're with Jordan all the time, I miss you, I'd be like, why didn't you say sooner? That's, like, let's plan something. Let's book it in. Let's get it done. Let's go out. And I think a friend to turn around and throw that in your face isn't that great of a friend. Do you know what I mean? But go about it the right way. Tell them how you're feeling in a positive way. Like, I just miss you so much. Not be like, you've effed me off for your mate, for your boyfriend. Don't go in it like that, because I just feel like you're going to end up in an argument or someone's going to end up sad at the end. I'm struggling massively with anxiety. Day 10 of meds and no change. Any advice? So I have been on antidepressants, I've been on anxiety medication, panic attack medication, and I think everyone is different. I was on an antidepressant where I literally didn't feel different at all, like where I went back to the doctor after a month saying nothing's changed, and she said it can take some people like 3 months plus for it to actually fully get in your system and start to work. So I know it's 10 days and I probably sound like, are you joking me? But just wait a bit longer, because it's starting to get in your system. I'm not a doctor, obviously. I do not take my advice. If you're feeling really bad, please go and like contact your doctor and you need help. But I think it is a thing where everyone's bodies are different, everyone's bodies soaks it up differently. I've been at a point where I've thought, oh my god, nothing's ever going to help me, but there is things out there. Please don't worry. Reach out to your family and friends as well if you're feeling really anxious and low, like that you need a good support system. And if you don't, reach out to me. Message me 5 times so it goes to the top and I can see it and we can talk. Like, please don't suffer alone. Do you think a relationship can be fully rebuilt after the trust has been broken? So obviously I'm a good example for this. I do believe, well, it depends how far they go. I feel like if Jordan was having an affair with another woman, sleeping with her, living a separate life, and coming home to me and still kissing me and loving me and pretending everything's fine, then sorry, no, I would find that really, really, really difficult, because men can't have the best of both, neither can women. Like, you can't have 2 women at the same time and think that it's going to be hunky-dory, and especially if it's been going on a long time as well. Like, you have to be good enough, and obviously you need to know your self-worth and remind yourself that there is someone out there that wouldn't go for another person or want another life with another person. Whereas for me, obviously, the situation, he did break my trust. He didn't physically do anything, like he didn't cheat on me physically, it was online, but he was young and he's proven to me that he literally has said to me, like, the grass wasn't greener. Like, I don't know what I was searching for, because all I wanted was you in the end. Like, and I've chosen to forgive him. Not everyone can do that. Some people think I'm a mug. That is fine. That's your opinion. Keep it to yourself if it's not productive, positive, or anyone really, or if it's even relevant. But I know for me, I trust Jordan now. I've rebuilt that trust, and that's what I wanted. But I know deep down, like, I honestly know if it ever happened again, I would be gone, because I know my worth now, and I know that I do everything I possibly can for my family. I work so hard, I give 110%, I try to be the best girlfriend I can be, the best mum I possibly can be. So if anything else went wrong, I know that I would leave Jordan with my head held high and know that there is someone that would love me for me and respect me. But me and Jordan are in a really great place, and we have rebuilt our trust back, and I'm feeling good. But I think for me, it depends how far they go. So I think look at what they've done and really think hard about if you can rebuild. Are they working hard to make you trust them again? Are they really putting the effort in? Are you feeling the love? These are the questions to ask yourself. If you're not, and they're not, then try and then cut them off. They don't even want you back. They're not even trying. Get rid. You can find someone that will love you for you and never do it. So yeah, it's a massive thing about, we need to realise our worths as human beings and how amazing we are. That's what you got to tell yourself. Self-love is a massive key, and that's something I've only just learned the past year. After having a baby, I'm fat. The size of the clothes I have to buy now embarrasses me. Hon, stop. This is what I mean about self-love. Stop. You have just created the most amazing thing as women we can do, is create life, obviously with help, but I felt like that. I had Marley, I'm fat, I'm disgusting, and I look back now and I think I'm not fat. Like, I hate the word fat. You shouldn't describe yourself as fat. Like, we should we all have our own challenges in life, and we've gone over different obstacles and reasons that we are the way we are, and we need to accept that. And you either want to change it or you're happy in your own skin, and that's fine. But you've just created a baby. Please stop. Like, I've learned as well to buy clothes that fit me and I'm comfortable in, and you can still feel sexy. Like, I buy clothes that suit my body. Obviously some people would say, no, buy whatever you want, but some things I know I look silly in, and it's not that it's because I'm bigger, it just doesn't suit my new body shape. Do you know what I mean? So I would say, if you want to lose weight, that's fine. Go down that path, but you need to start. I believe I never really lost weight till I started accepting my body shape and just being healthy for me. Then my weight started coming off, because I wasn't trying to lose weight, I was trying to be healthy and better myself. But please don't be hard on yourself. Like, you've just created a baby. You should be so proud of yourself. Every time I look at my stretch marks, because I'm covered in stretch marks, I think my belly used to be this big and there was a life inside of me. Like, it's an incredible thing. Every change in your body is a story. That's what I believe as well, and it's a memory. Like, I haven't got a flat tummy, I've got a right mum tum, like, and I've come to terms that it's never going to completely go. Like, it's impossible. Your body cannot stretch the skin back unless I had, obviously, plastic surgery, which I am open to. If I ever wanted to do that, I would do that. But just remind yourself that it's such an amazing thing. That's your story, and that's how you've got this beautiful baby. Any tips for being anxious, getting down so much, and it's affecting my skin as well? For me, so I think now, so I used to suffer really badly with depression. I never really opened up enough about it, but I was so depressed. I was on all these medicines, and I think I'm in a lot happier place in my life, that I'm not depressed and I don't feel sad, because you don't have to, anything have to happen in your life to have depression. It is a chemical imbalance. But now I don't really suffer with the feeling of depression. I feel the anxiety in my chest, the feeling, the out of breathness, and sometimes it can be nothing. I can wake up one morning and literally be so anxious about nothing. Nothing's happened. Things trigger it, especially on social media, but best thing to do, my top tips: get out of bed. Get out of bed and make your bed. That is the first step. That's the first thing I do. Take a deep breath, get up, make my bed. Then I get ready. So before I've even had my breakfast, I get ready, because then I'm ready for the day. I'm ready to start something. I'm not in yesterday's clothes. I'm not living yesterday. I'm living today. So yeah, get ready. Then obviously, because I'm a mum, get Marley ready and everything like that. Then I'll make sure I have something to eat, or a big glass of water, something to wake me up, feel fresh. If I'm really, really anxious, I'll walk to school. So I just feel like fresh air is key. I'd like to say exercise, but if you don't want to exercise, just going out for a nice brisk walk will make you feel better. I don't know what it is. There must be a fact about it, but as soon as I get some fresh air, I'm walking, I'm doing something, I'm being productive, my anxiety dramatically drops. And I don't know if it's because my brain is thinking about what I'm doing there and then and not thinking anxiously. I don't know. But yeah, they are my top tips. Get up, make your bed, get dressed, have something to eat or drink, and either exercise or do a good walk. And then I'll come home, and if you're feeling really, really anxious again, tidy your house. Make sure your house is all in its place. Like, all the homes they're meant to be, put them in the homes. And then either get your favourite film while you clean it. Sorry, let's go back. When you're cleaning your house or tidying, blast some music. I just put on top hits on Alexa as loud as I possibly can, and dance it out, and just try and forget the feeling, even though it's really easier said than done. I was about to say harder said than done. So then when your house is all tidy, have a nice lunch, and make sure you chill out, watch your favourite ass film, or I've bought a new book. That's my new thing. I don't like reading. Like, I wish I really enjoyed it, and I don't. But since passing my GCSE in English, I've just been trying a lot more to read, because I read a lot in that in the course. So I bought a new positive book, which I will talk about. It's called Good Vibes, Good Life. I'm a quarter of the way through. Highly recommend. Just that makes me feel a lot better when I've read that. So yeah, just do things for you. because I think sometimes your life just takes over, just work, family, and you just need to remind yourself who you are and what you need and what you deserve. And me time is completely acceptable. Whoever you are, it doesn't matter if you're a mum, no mum, old, young, you deserve me time. My in-laws are always asking when to take my 12-week-old baby for an overnight. I'm not ready yet, but I don't want to sound disrespectful. What advice can you give? Just be honest that you're not ready yet. Like, my mum and Jordan's mum had Marley when he was a baby. I don't know how, I can't even remember how old he was. But they had him overnight, and it was really nice for me and Jordan to have a date night and just be like Chloe and Jordan and not mum and dad. But the baby stage is so lovely, so I understand like how you feel. Like, oh, the baby stage, I love it. Like, don't get me wrong, okay, I love Marley to bits, but like the baby stage is just so lovely. It's tiring, don't get me wrong, but that is my favourite stage ever. And then this stage, like me and like Marley 5 is brilliant. Like we literally have so much fun all the time, whereas like 1 and 2 are really difficult because there's no communication and they just want to touch everything, and I feel like you don't get 5 minutes and you're even more exhausted. But yeah, I understand 12 weeks old is very, very little. Like, that's only like 3 months, isn't it? So I understand, but just tell them that you're not ready yet. But maybe my advice would be like booking a date with them, so then they have something to look forward to, because obviously they love your baby already and they want to have them, and that is a nice feeling as well, because I know some people that their grandparents never have their grandchildren at all, and obviously we don't have children for our parents to look after them, but obviously you always would love your grandchild. You want your child to be wanted by its grandparents. Like when I was growing up, my mum literally wanted me and I didn't want her. Like, I did want her, but all I wanted was my nan. Like, I loved my nan. Like, I can't even express I look at Jordan's family and my family, and they're just such brilliant grandparents, and Marley loves them so much, and that's all I ever wanted because of how my relationship was with my grandparents. So like, I would say you should definitely feel good that they want to have baby, and I would just recommend booking in a date so they have something to look forward to, gives you time to prepare yourself, because obviously, like you said, you're not ready yet. And then they probably will stop asking because they know they've got a date, if that makes sense. I'm really hoping that would be good advice. That was something I would do, and that would probably work for me and make me not feel so frustrated that they keep asking, but also then you're not coming across disrespectful at all. Just be like, I'm not ready yet, but why don't we book a date in, and then like whatever works for you, whatever works for me, and then me and other half, or just if you're a single parent, that's fine as well, but then either you and your other half can have a date night, or you can have a night to yourself, catch up on telly, because obviously I bet you don't get much of that with a 12-week-old. So I'm really hoping that would be good advice for you. Seeing my past high school drama teacher says he's not ready for a relationship. Is he just using me? First step, you need to get a mate on the case, because I have FBI friends, do you know what I mean? Like, they're not really FBI. You need to find out if he's not married, or he's already got a girlfriend, or he's got some sort, because obviously he must be older than you. Make sure he's not having an affair with you, basically, and that's why he's saying, I'm not ready for a relationship. I think you need to do some investigating first and get the boxes ticked, because you don't want to be wasting your time. I'm a big thing on time wasting. Like, you don't want to just be unless you're having fun, don't get me wrong, if you're having fun and you just want him for fun, but if you want a relationship and he doesn't, one, don't waste your time, 2, find out if he's not got a missus and a child and a secret life first. That would be my first step, go to. Like, if this was me, I'd put it in my group chat of my FBI friends and they would find everything out for me. And then I do the same. See, I'm FBI on other people, but not on myself. It's weird. 13 years together this year, 4 kids, no ring. I've got family members that aren't married yet, and they have now said, because it's been over 10 years, that they're not even bothered anymore. Like, I'm not going to name names, but it depends how much you want it. Like, I would start leaving hints if you're that desperate. Like, get the catalogues in the house, leave the pages open on rings around the house. Telly, when an advert comes on about a ring, I'd kick his foot, or just make little hints. Or say, oh, I'm just buying myself a new ring. What size? will you help me figure out my size? Like, just do the hints. But I really wouldn't, like, be sad about it. Some men and women just aren't that bothered about getting married. I know, like, the people I know love each other anyway. They don't need a ring just to say it's forever. Do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't worry too much, but if you're desperate, just make the hints on. Say yes to the dress on the telly 24/7. That's what I would do. I told Jordan before, like, I make jokes like, hon, if I don't have a ring in the next 10 years, what am I waiting around for? Like, complete jokes. Like, he knows we're joking because we laugh, and then he makes a joke back. But, like, I'm in no rush for a ring, and I just think I wouldn't worry. Me and Jordan have been together 7 years. Obviously, we have had bad patches in those 7 years, but sometimes this is the problem. I'm saying hint, and I know people will watch this and be like, no, don't hint, you're going to put them off. It'll fall into place. But if it's really upsetting you, like, deep down, and you can tell it's going to affect your relationship, I would just say, like, I would love to marry you, like, and just be honest, and just tell people. I think I've said communication probably 40 million times in this video, but communication is key. If you really need, like, if you're feeling really down, just tell him how you're feeling, because it'll either benefit you, or at least it'll get him thinking, and that's what obviously you want him to start thinking about. But obviously he loves you, like, you've that amount of time together and 4 kids, and if you're happy in your relationship, then I really wouldn't worry. I always say things like, don't go asking me here, or don't go asking me in front of all these people, like, as jokes, because he knows that if he asked me in front of loads of people, I would be so, like, uncomfortable and anxious. He knows that it would just make me feel really not enjoy the moment. I think I don't really like massive crowds of people, so, or like loads of people I knew, I don't know. Or do you know, like, I think it's lovely. I watch videos, I cry every time people get engaged, but like in a restaurant, and then it got down on one knee, I wouldn't like all these random people clapping me. It'd make me anxious, but I wouldn't worry. It will happen. Fingers crossed. I am really certain after that amount of time together, those beautiful children together, he will definitely want you to be his wife. But that is all for today. I'm hoping you enjoyed this. If you did, let me know in the comments, because then I will try and do one every single week and just be an agony on. Like, I've got some names in mind for this segment, just some fun things. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment any ideas below, and as always, thank you so much for supporting me. Bye guys.